My name is Stephanie Abrams. I am a Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I can't believe I'm saying that yet. And this is my very good friend Karl. He is my direct sponsor. And so I'm excited for you guys to hear from him tonight because Karl has been with the business for a little over 3 years. Like I said, he's an Emerald Ambassador. He has a master's degree in engineering. So you're going to hear business from a college graduate, a master here. And he really has he's got such a grasp on why our compensation plan, why our business and our company is really incredible. Just, I've talked with him and just the things that he understands in business terms, in businesses in general. It's great talking with him. So I'm excited for you guys to hear. You and Liz have been married for what, 3 years now?
It'll be 3 years in July. Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited for you guys to hear from him tonight. So welcome to our call, Karl. And I guess just start out just by sharing your testimony a little bit, your health testimony, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Well, thank you, Stephanie. I'm Karl Spohn, Emerald Ambassador with Plexus. I have worked in business for the last 15 years. I mean, Plexus wasn't what I first started in. By trade, I'm a land surveyor. I work for an engineering firm. I finished my master's back in 2009, and kind of interesting, a lot of the things in leadership that we've talked about and gone through on some of the books and calls and different things that you're probably getting introduced to are things that we're learning here by our Plexus journey. As far as the products, I've taken the products, Triplex, the X Factor, and several of the other products daily for 3 years. I love the products. I believe in the products. And I'm passionate about Plexus and the company as a whole and the opportunity that it brings to individuals like ourselves.
Yeah. So what did you first, because you were Liz's first ambassador, right?
I was, yeah. No, I remember when Liz told me about it, and obviously, probably much like anybody else, I didn't understand, the whole concept or network marketing, the compensation plan. But I think the first thing that I identified was they had quality products, and I also understood that just our diet and our lives today, we're inundated with so many foods that have things in them that they're foreign to what we used to have in our foods. They're not natural anymore. So I knew our bodies needed something else to help combat that, and I was really impressed with the products at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when she started advancing in the business, a lot of Plexus is the wives get in it, they see the opportunity, they're excited about it, and then the husbands are just kind of along for the ride. Some husbands are against it at first, and then some are supportive. So what are your thoughts on the business side of Plexus and how you see it as a man in general, how you see it from, how it's supporting your spouse, etc.?
So from a business perspective, I mean, think about having a product that really the whole world needs. That's what we have with Plexus. There's no other company or products on the market that we have a product that the whole world needs monthly, daily. And we're not, it's like some other companies out there. It may be skincare or something else. There's multiple companies that sell the same thing. So that drew me in the business model right away. And then after reading the compensation plan and going through it, they have it figured out second to none. It benefits the customer who orders and purchases products. It benefits the ambassador like us, and then it benefits Plexus all the way back around to the company. So that drew me in right away from a business perspective. I think about a product that you can share with others and be diversified geographically around many states, cities, towns. Uh, that is just so powerful because you're in so many different cultures and economic settings. That was very, very impressive to me. There's a really good book out there called The Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. He's not a network marketer, but he speaks to this style business and why it's so successful today. Just through, and one of the reasons it is so successful is the power of Zoom meeting that we're having right now, or different social, Facebook, Twitter, different things like that. But today, a lot of firms or companies are looking for, instead of just putting their products on a shelf in a store, they're looking for or turning towards network marketing to get their products out. And what better way to have ambassadors in the field who endorse something and can share versus paying millions of dollars for just advertising at events or celebrities.
Yeah. And people will say, well, are you making money off of this? Or, why do they I've heard people say, well, don't they, raise the price for these products that you could find them cheaper elsewhere? But then it's like, if you go to the store, you are paying usually about 400% more because of markup. And you're not getting, as in network marketing, because we are the ambassadors getting paid, we get to benefit from that instead of just the company. So I think, I would rather benefit my friends with their clothing business or their makeup, whatever the case. And just that model, like you said, people are turning to that more. And also, one of the things that I really like that you had said was that it doesn't matter your economic of where you're at, because, I have teams in Hawaii, I have a team in Oregon and in Georgia. And so all these different places. And that is one of the awesome benefits about network marketing, is that even if it's bad where you are at, someone that knows someone that is in a different area, is in a different culture, so that was something that I'd never thought of before until I was talking to you one time. So I really liked that.
Well, and just the ability, think of a traditional storefront. It's in one location. Your business through network marketing is in multiple places at once. Wherever you go, you have the opportunity. And that's power. And the other thing is it's a low startup cost. Most of us wouldn't be able to, you basically own your own franchise portion of Plexus as when you become an ambassador. That is the level that you're bought in. And to own a franchise in most companies, you might be in millions of dollars to just get in. And we have a low startup cost. So that's really inviting also.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
If you haven't read The Business of the 21st Century, or you have a spouse, a husband or a wife, it's a must read, because you have to be sold on the business model. The products you have to be sold on the products too, but you have to know why you're doing what you're doing and why it works. And so I would highly recommend The Business of the 21st Century. And again, it's not a network marketer writing the book or another company. It's a third-party perspective. And it really sheds light on where we're at in society today with where business is going. And it makes sense. Look at the startups that are out there that weren't there years ago. You got Amazon, it'll ship right to your door. The beauty of not having to hold product or order for people. They just go on your website and order, and then it comes to them. That's just powerful.
Yeah, no, that is. Okay, so how do you see it, Plexus, as supporting your spouse? Like I said, a lot of wives get into the business first, it seems like, and then the husbands, I guess, what are some tips that as a man, as a husband, that you can do that are supporting your wife in her business? What are some things that you have learned, just some strengths that you guys have that, balance each other out?
Yeah, no, for instance, Liz is much more comfortable doing something like this than I am. I'll be totally honest with you. But so, yeah, we each have our own strengths. And I think that's the beauty of when you can work at it as a couple. For me, diving into the business end of things, I mean, I took care of all the accounting, any of that sort of end of the business, helped her with presentations, flyers, graphics, things like that. Think somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. So, I mean, if you're a guy and you love business, help your wife, allow her to bounce those ideas off of you and refine them. I mean, she may be more of the face of the business, but you may be adding value kind of behind the scenes and direction. And it could be the reverse. It could be a guy who's and there's several successful guys that are where the roles are flipped. So, and then I would say the next thing is just being consistent with your message. In all of business, consistency is really key. Customers don't want to, only know you exist once in a while, or you're out. If you had a storefront, you got the close sign up. That's not how you retain customers. It's just by being consistent, and it's very interesting to see. I mean, we've had people come back to us a couple years later, and they're like, "Oh, you're still doing Texas," and that reopens an opportunity to share. And we've had several that have jumped on board just through being consistent, not pressuring or anything like that. Just being consistent with your message, whether it's on your, Facebook or just your friends, not being, shy about what you do. And again, that comes back to having a belief in business model itself.
Yeah. And I know I tell people that a lot. It's like, you're going to have, people, they get started and they're reaching out to people, and sometimes you'll get a customer, sometimes you'll get an ambassador, and sometimes you just get people that are interested, but they don't do anything yet. And I just tell them, your consistency and your follow-up, that is going to be the key. That's going to be what makes the difference or not, because that you've introduced them to something, you've told them about it, and now they're going to watch and see. And when the time is right for them, if you have been consistent, then they're going to know, okay, I know I can go to Karl. I know I can go to Heidi, because she's been doing this for, year now, 2 years now, and she's been faithful with it. It's not just some fly-by-night thing. So that's huge.
I totally agree.
Okay, so a couple more questions here. What helped you get to Emerald? What is a tip, I guess, that helped you get to Emerald, that you just say, I really needed this to be able to reach this part in my journey?
Well, at first Liz and I kind of worked on building her into the business, and then the second half we've been, working on mine. But obviously consistency and reaching out to people. One of the other areas that has helped us is just being real with people and not going after people to inundate them with plexus, but truly caring about people and being a friend to them first. Because, ultimately we can be successful, but we want other people to be successful too. And that's really important. I mean, you can take riding a bike or something, and you may be the best biker out there, but if you can't share and help somebody else learn how to successfully ride a bike or ski, that really is that's when you become a better leader and are be able to get people to that next level. And so I think that's helped a little bit. And then just be consistent over time. I mean, it's not going to happen. Don't compare yourself to other people, and be realistic. I mean, it's good to have goals. I'm definitely a goal set person and love crunching numbers and things like that. But, sometimes you have to refine those goals and definitely set the goals high, but sometimes our goals are unrealistic, and not to beat ourselves up over those goals, and just refine those and keep moving on.
Okay. Now I have another question. When it comes to sharing the business, what have you found to be the most effective? Is it one-on-one talking to people? Is it having meetings at your house? Is it on Facebook, phone calls? What would you say has been the biggest tool for you when sharing
Uh,
with the community?
Probably one-on-one sharing. I think that's maybe it was because some of those we had a prior relationship with. We knew the individual. I think one-on-one has probably been the most successful all the way around. But I think having that relationship, and I think that was part of it with that individual person. They were placing trust in you, or that ambassador, when they just coming to you, or being able to sit down and talk with you. So I think whether that's through a phone call, if they already have trust in you,
Mm-hmm.
you're miles down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you have to, having a relationship with someone, being a people person. And I know Elizabeth is a master at this. I mean, she makes friends. We kind of talked about this and chuckled about it before, but that's something that she thrives on, that she just loves doing, and meeting and talking with people, and having that relationship first, having that in place. And then people, I mean, they automatically want to know what you're doing, if you're still doing something, and just having that consistency, but having that base. I mean, this is network marketing. You have to have the network, you have to have the friends, the connections.
And really, all of life is that way. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about it, if you have somebody come over and do some maintenance on your home or something, and they did a good job for you, and then a couple years later, you need something else done, guess who you're going to call first? Because you already trust them. And that's really, that's huge. So if you have that trust or rapport with somebody, a client will always come back. We don't really think of people in this term as a client, but they really are a client, and they will keep coming back and coming back because they trust you.
Mm-hmm. That's a good way to put it. That is really good. Okay, so what, I am really big on personal growth. I feel like I'm getting a book from Amazon every other week. What would you say is one of your favorite books when it came to personal growth for yourself or in the business? What would you share?
Well, okay, so I mentioned the business of the 21st century. That's not really a personal growth book. That sells you on the business. Um, I have a couple books here. The Slight Edge, it kind of talks about why some people succeed. I read this, I don't know, probably 6, 7 months ago, and it made a lot of sense just looking at through life at other individuals and other professions that I've run into. And there's people out there, you're just like, why do they tick, and why do people gravitate towards them? And the Slight Edge kind of pointed that out. It it pointed out that some people, they're always positive, they're cheerful, they're always moving forward. And so I would highly encourage you to read that book. A couple others, Flip Top CEO is really good. The 4-Year Career, and then this book by Dave Ramsey, The Entire Leadership. Very practical leadership advice. I mean, it's from a business perspective, but it applies to so many aspects of network marketing, business in general, and our life. And I was just totally blown away by this book here.
What is it called?
It's The Entire Leadership by Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
Great book. I would highly recommend this one. And they're all fabulous. This one hit me just because it comes from a business perspective and yet a growth perspective as an individual. So that one really touched me.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't read The only one I read that you mentioned was the 4-year career, that Slight Edge. I've never even heard of that one before. So after this,
There's so many books out there.
on again.
I absolutely love the whole personal growth aspect of it. It's funny because years ago when I was doing my master's, we read some books like Good to Great, 7 Habits of a Highly Effective Leader, and some of those books talked about just surrounding yourself with the right people in business. And some of that's true in Plexus. I mean, Stephanie's an awesome leader, and you're lucky to have her on your team. And that's a great takeaway from something like that. We're very fortunate to have a fabulous team.
Yeah. Yeah, we really do have a really awesome group of people. And, one thing that I say so much is you have got to have that personal growth. You've got to have that, because there's going to come a point and time in your life, in business, where you're going to get stuck. And so instead of getting to that point and getting stuck, grow as you are learning, and put an emphasis on that, because oh my goodness, the more I learn about leadership and personal development, the more I realize that I have so far to go. Man, but okay, so last question. What, I guess, kind of the whole conclusion here, what are some of your top tips that you would tell somebody that is new, or they're trying to reach that next rank? They've got their eye, they're going for the future, they're going to the top. What are some top things that you would tell them?
Well, first off, set some goals where you want to be, because it's all work. I mean, there's a certain amount of work we have to put in to get anywhere. It's not just a free ride. We're pushing uphill most of the time. We're not just getting a free ride down the hill. So go into it with that in mind, that there is a certain amount of work that you're going to have to put in to be successful at anything. And that is the same case for network marketing. Nothing's just given to you. So I think starting from that perspective, knowing you're going to need to put in a few hours a week, and being consistent at that, it'd be, we wouldn't be consistent if we had a daily job that, for 8 to 5, if we only showed up a couple days a week. So if we're not consistent in our own business, whether it's a couple hours a day or just, a few hours or whatever it is that works for your schedule, find something that works for your schedule and then be consistent. That is huge. Can you re-say this question one more time? I'm trying to stay on topic.
No, just some top things that, if someone is committed, they are going to go all the way, and then they feel like maybe they're stuck, or do I really want to do this? What are some things that you have learned along the way that is like, you've got to do this, and so goal setting, that's one of those things. Being consistent. What are some other things that you have learned in this 3 years that you would say, to get to Emerald, you need to do this?
You have to want it. I mean, you really do. It's not going to be handed to you. Just like going to college or finishing high school or any other accomplishment in life, you have to see that goal out there and pretty much put everything else aside to obtain it. I think that's huge. I think that's why some people, and I think the Slight Edge went into that. That's why some people succeed, is they have that goal firmly in their minds, or where they're going, and they have that mapped out and they apply it. It doesn't matter if that takes you, 6 months to do it, or 12 months, or 20 months to do it, but you have that mapped out. You know where you're going. It's kind of like making a grocery list when you go to the grocery store. You know what you're going there for to get, and I think that's huge.
Yeah. So having your goals, and when you say goals, are you looking at a month goal, a year goal? I hear some people say, well, have your 5-year plan in place. How do you section off your goals, I guess, time-wise?
You should have both, technically. And I mean, you should have a 5-year goal plan for your life, and then a 1-year plan, and maybe a 6-month plan, and a 1-month plan. I mean, where do you want to be next year at this time? Where do you want to be 1 month from now or this fall? Again, none of us can get there by first you have to have the goal, and then you have to apply it.
Yeah.
And that's really all of life.
I was listening to John Maxwell today, the transformational leader one.
Isn't that awesome?
It is so good. I've listened to it like 4 times, but one of the things that he said is like, good intentions aren't going to get you anywhere. You have to actually work to get there. I can have the greatest of intentions to have this, great body, or we're going to Hawaii here in the fall. It's like, you want to look your best, but you can have all the intentions in the world, but if you don't do anything to get towards that, start watching your water intake, watching what you're doing, working out, you're not going to get there. And the same thing with network marketing. You can say all day long, I want to be an emerald, I want to be an emerald, I want to get that Lexus, but if you are not doing the work, if you are not being consistent and reaching out and following up and growing yourself, that's just a wish, So
no, it really is, because life is about having it fairly all balanced out and then applying it. And not every day in your business or in any business, and especially when you're growing personally, you're not going to be at the top of the mountain every day. Some days you're going to be going down through the valley. There's a lot of days like that, and there's a lot of days you're working up the other side to the to get to the peak. There's not many days that you're on the peak. You're mostly traveling through the valleys or walking across the ridges. But there's really only a few days you're actually at the very top pinnacle of an achievement or getting somewhere. And I think going into any sort of business or project and realizing that don't set yourself up for failure by not having the right mindset and then the right obtainable goals. And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Being realistic is important.
Yeah. So I'm being realistic, and I'm going to go diamond next month. No, but thank you so much, Karl, for being on here. I'm glad that everybody kind of got to hear a little bit from you and just get to know you a little bit more. I'm sure you guys have seen any of the, if you have watched any of the Diamond documentaries, Karl and Liz have theirs, Karl Spohn and Elizabeth Spohn, and they're actually just about half an hour from me. So these are real people and we go to their house and we have fun. And it takes work, it takes commitment, it takes that right mindset, those goals. But oh my goodness, it is so worth it.
And Stephanie, you're gonna have a Diamond Doc real soon.
No,
get ready.
I gotta get all my people up here together. So anyway, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. And I know people are gonna get a lot out of this, but thank you everyone again for joining us this evening, and I hope you guys got some good tips from this, and you have an awesome rest of the night. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.